What's up, y'all? This your boy DC with emix.com. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the Emix podcast. But before we dive into the next episode, if you make any kind of music and you plan on putting it out the right way, then you know the importance of getting your music properly mixed and mastered. And that's what we do here at emix.com. We make it super easy. Just upload your sessions and our mix engineers here will get it mixed to industry standards. And we have plans starting as low as $39.99 a month. So I'll leave you that link in the description below so you can click on it and get started today. All right, y'all, let's dive into this episode. Peace. What up, y'all? This your boy DC.
And I'm Zach.
And we got Dayna Madison and Andre Ryder in the building. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Welcome.
Yo, we got the whole crew on this thing. This is a couple of firsts for us. This is the first time we had 4 people on the podcast at once. So thank you for being one of our first. Yeah.
so
And then the other first is really just having a writer on here. We just been so focused on just having artists and producers on here. So Andre, appreciate you being on here. You go, drop some knowledge on the writing tip. You know what I'm saying? Teach us a little something.
all right, easy call.
Yeah. So welcome to the Emix podcast. We talk all things music. You know what I'm saying? Artistry, just creative talk. You know what I mean? We just go have some fun, and we really just go use this episode to really just highlight you guys. Y'all with it?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, Zach, start us off.
All right, so since this is our first time, we'll kind of chop it up back and forth, but you can decide who goes first. So just let everyone know who you are, how you got into music, and how you kind of got to where you are today.
You want to go first, Dan? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first, Andre. Kill it.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm Andre Ryder, CEO of iPen Hits Music and Publishing and Fame Management. Dayna Madison is the first lady. She's the first artist signed.
Awesome.
Shouts out to her, my little superstar right there.
Hey.
Yeah, I've been doing music for a while. Both my parents are in the industry. My mom was an actress. She was in there was a movie in the 70s called Sparkle. She played Dolores, the middle-aged character. And my dad, his name is Nate Fortier. He was a record producer. He's actually the one who put Chris Stokes in the game. So, he mentored Chris Stokes. He's produced records for, Frida Payne, Rick Smith, just some people from back in the day.
Nice.
So, yeah, I recorded my first song at like 5. I had my first record deal at 13 with Eddie Holland. I was in a group called 4U with my cousin. We did a little tour, a little exposure. After that, I moved back to California and really just got introduced to the studio. So I've always had a studio in the house, but I never really kind of went in there. I got into a little trouble, and my parents were like, I don't understand. You're 14 years old. We have a whole studio out there. You need to go learn it. And ever since then, I've been trapped out the studio. I started producing and writing at an early age, but I kind of gravitated more towards writing.
And when you say writing,
Yeah.
do you mean
That's
writing lyrics or just writing music?
Lyrics and melody. Yeah. But I mean, I would still classify myself as a producer just the way that I put records together. I mean, the producers or the beat makers that I work with, they'll send me records. I'll write them and kind of, format the records and be like, oh, I think this person sounds good on this person sounds good on that part. So, I've kind of expanded my my reach from just making beats to actually formulating records and, putting stuff together.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's major. That's major.
Yep. And then I met.
And who else we got here?
We got the superstar Dayna Madison.
That's me. So,
What up, Danny?
hey, what's up? So I started doing music almost a year ago today, actually. Oh, shoot. Let me turn that off real quick. I started doing music almost a year ago today, actually. my first day in the studio was with Andre, which is a whole crazy story in itself. Like, I've been a dancer for 20 years. I'm 23 years old, so since I was 3. And me and Andre met through a mutual friend, and he needed dancers for a music video. And I was a dancer, of course. And then he asked me if I could sing. I said, a little bit. He asked me to show him a little something, send him a little something of me singing. I sent him something, and apparently he was blown away.
Yes.
And then he asked me.
That's all it takes.
Right, just a little something. And then he asked me to come to the studio and record. So I went, and I was nervous, and I had to do some backgrounds for one of his songs. And then from there, it was history. And I just realized that I have a new passion, and it's music and singing and recording, and it's all of that. I knew I always wanted to be an entertainer. So dancing, singing, that's my life. That's just what I'm supposed to do. That's what feeds my soul.
Well, I think too,
So
it's
now,
I was just
Now
gonna
she did backgrounds, and that blew me away because y'all have been in sessions. You know how long it could take a singer to do some background vocals. Like that jump could take hours. She knocked these out in like 3 takes. Like no, really like 2 takes. And then from there, I think that day we did like 3 records that day, 3-4 records that day. Actually, Trust Your Lives was one of the records that we did that day.
No chance.
Oh wow. Okay. That's one of your first records, right, Dayna?
Yeah, Trust Your Lies is my first record that came out last Friday, and I just feel good about it. I just can't wait to get more records out.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. Well, hey, you set the bar pretty
I
high.
would say so, but I'm gonna keep raising the bar.
How many tracks do you have in the works right now?
Ooh, we got quite a few. I got probably maybe 4 or 5 with Andre, and then I have some friends in the industry as well that I work with. So probably about 7 that are in the works right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that's a whole project right there, for real.
A little something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Andre, like, what are some of the things you look for in an artist? Like what's one of the things? Well, let's speak on Dayna specifically. What was one of the things that stood out in this big, huge city that we in with so many different artists in here already?
I would say first and foremost her character and her energy. She's just real. She's real humble. She's real sweet, and it's just a certain freshness that she has. I mean, I know she, a lot of this is new, but she's not arrogant. Like she could still be arrogant, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? She's humble. Outside of, other than that, her talent. Like for her to come to the studio and for her first time, this was her first time ever, like in the booth, ever. So for her to knock out those background vocals in a couple of takes, and then for us to do like 3 or 4 records that day, to me, I knew in my mind, I was like, all right, this is either gonna go one or 2 ways. This is gonna either be really, really good,
right,
or this is gonna crash and burn.
Right.
But when she did those backgrounds, I knew that she was special because it didn't take her long, and she follows she can follow directions really well in the studio. So when you're producing an art,
That's key.
when you're producing an artist, that's a really important thing. Like you can't produce somebody who won't listen or who's not willing to listen. So for her, not only is she willing to listen, but she can execute what you're asking her to do it with ease. Yeah.
Dayna get an A+. Get an A+. So let's talk about the dancing a little bit, and then we'll talk more about singing and the record and all that kind of stuff. So you've been dancing since you was a little girl. Was that like something that was instilled in you early on, or was that something you kind of brought in on your own? Like, hey mom, hey dad, I want to dance. Like, how did that come about?
Apparently, when I was maybe 2 years old, something like that, I would be in my playpen and my mom would be watching TV, the dance shows where they're doing ballroom, all that kind of stuff. And I would be in the playpen, not even being able to talk, just dancing around.
Right.
Yes.
And then, I started being able to talk, and I said, Mom, I want to go to class dance, like dance class, but you know how little kids are.
Right.
I said, I want to go to class dance. She said, when you turn 3, you can go to dance class. So from that day forward, when I turned 3 on January 13th, I was a dancer and never stopped.
So could you dance before you could walk?
I probably have some rhythm before I could walk. Yeah.
Yeah. Like your crawl was like a little bit of
Right. It was probably on beat.
Hell yeah.
My crawl was probably on beat.
Crawling on beat.
And then after,
Was there? No, go ahead. Go
and
ahead.
after I started dancing, I stayed at a dance studio until I graduated high school. Then I ended up moving to Memphis, and I got a dance scholarship to be on the University of Memphis dance team.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of years. It was a great experience. And then after that, I danced for the NBA out there. I danced for the Grizzlies for a couple of years as well.
Oh, no way.
Super fun, super
Nice.
fun. And then during that time, I was also top 10 on the show So You Think You Can Dance, well, top 10 girls. So I was on that for a bit. So it's just been a whole journey and a whole lot of trial and error and a whole lot of yeses, a whole lot of no's. But, you know, that's just the artist's entertainment life.
So with dancing and music, what are some things that have helped you from, you know, your experience in dance that has almost translated into your singing and music abilities?
Like Andre was saying earlier, I think I pride myself in taking direction well. That's something that I've always had to do with ballet and tap and jazz. You need to be disciplined. You know, you have to follow what they're telling you to do. You can't be part of a team if you're just the only one on that team, you know? So you have to follow directions and work together. And that's what we do in the studio. We work together. I follow directions pretty well, you know, and that's just what I do. Mm-hmm. I also think that dancing and having rhythm and keeping timing is also something that I pride myself in, because some people, they get a little offbeat, whether they're dancing or singing or they're rapping, whatever they're doing. So that's one thing that I definitely have taken from dance and put into my music.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, you need to get this industry back on beat, because that's been like a wave for a nice little minute now. All these rappers and stuff just all over the place.
Right.
Is there, I don't know, too many, like, you know, famous dancers or anything like that? Was there any dancers growing up that you kind of looked up to or kind of inspired you?
Yeah, there were lots of dancers that I looked up to. I don't know if you guys know who Misty Copeland is, but she's one of the most famous Black ballerinas there is, and I really looked up to that. But more so just than dancers, I looked up to entertainers like Janet Jackson and Beyonce and the women that put on a show. It wasn't just, I have a nice voice or I can just dance. Like it was a show. It was a whole production, and they did it well.
Yeah, and I think that's what's gonna set you apart, because I don't even know if I can name really a handful of artists out right now who can dance and sing. Or if they do dance, they don't really incorporate it in their artistry. Like they, you know what I'm saying? So hey, Andre, I already see what plans you got going. I already see it. I already see it.
So, see my little Janet Jackson.
100%. And I'm trying to think. Okay, you got the Janet Jacksons, and then like skipping maybe a couple eras, like
you got Janet. We'll say Janet, but I think like in our era, you got Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
You got Tinashe.
Yep.
Tiana
Taylor.
Yeah.
She's a beast. She's a beast. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, I really
that's what I was saying. Like I was like, I'm trying to get off with one hand. It's hard to do that.
Yeah. It's hard.
I mean, like there's girls that sing and they do choreography, but to say that, oh, this artist is a classically trained dancer, you really don't have that. So I think I want to say like maybe outside of Tiana Taylor and Sierra, and maybe Tinashe, like there's Normani, you know, we throw Normani in there. She's newer. Yeah. But I mean, like outside of them, I don't know. But I mean, in my opinion, I don't think any of them can, you know, maybe outside of Tiana Taylor, a lot of these other female artists who are dancers or singers, I don't see them like dancing on point. Dayna could do that. I don't see them doing jazz. I don't see like those fundamentals. So I think that already, you know, for her to be a Black girl who is classically trained, not like Magic City trained, who's classically trained, like that's gonna set her apart, period.
100%. And like, do you see yourself, since you have such a history with dance, do you see that being a huge part of your brand? So like doing the music videos and the performances, do you see like having big dance numbers in your performances and music videos?
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. I can't even see myself performing something without being able to move a little bit. Like it's just that's in my blood. So,
Yeah.
and even just the music video that we worked on recently, called No Chances, which is coming out very soon as well. I did the choreography, I did the costuming, I did the song, you know, and it's just all of that comes together. I'm an entertainer, and without one, you don't have the other. You know, you can't have dance without music. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
so
100%. And
it makes sense.
I think too, it'll help bring up the energy and draw a larger crowd to you, because it like music is about dance as well. Like you said, like you can't have one without the other. And I think that will just like draw so many more people to you for sure.
Hopefully so.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to get the timeline right. It was Memphis and then California.
So I'm from California. I'm born and raised in La Mirada, California. Yeah, which is like right on the border between LA County and Orange County. So I'm right there.
Okay. All right, cool. What was the scene in Memphis? Was there a big dance music scene out there, or did it kind of feel kind of small town?
It definitely felt small town at first. But once I started to get to know the city, I understood that there is a dance community there. There is a huge music community there. It's just different than what I knew. You know, I always grew up as the only Black girl. And as the only Black girl, I was definitely the only Black girl in the studio that was, you know, even in the studio, just doing point, ballet, tap, jazz, doing all that. I was always that only girl. So when I went to Memphis and was around people that looked like me, that were also dancers and that were trained just like me, it changed some things for me. I felt like a sense of security, a sense of home. Like it just made sense.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. How long were you in Memphis?
For 4 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's dope. Memphis, they got a couple of legends out of Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the, you know, the rap music scene. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely been holding down their sound for a while.
Definitely.
And
they have a whole style of dance too. Memphis Jukin, like it's a whole subset of hip hop, and like I give them credit because I can't do it. I've tried. I'm not good at it.
What's it called? Memphis what?
It's a whole Jukin, Jookin, Jukin.
Okay.
So what
Is that what Y&R Duke does?
Huh?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was rough. It's hard for me.
So
I've had some more practice, I could do it, but as of right now, that's not in my cards.
what makes it different from like just different types of hip hop dance?
So I know you guys have seen, you know, dancers before. You've seen like hip hop dancers that will do all like the pop locking, like the tutting, the finger tutting, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the crumping, it's all different. So yeah, it's just like being a classically trained dancer. You have all different subsets of like what classical dance is, and that's just the same thing in hip hop. There's just a lot of different types of hip hop.
What do you?
Nice.
What is your favorite styles of dance to do out of all the years of doing it? Do you have a favorite?
Styles are definitely jazz. Like jazz is everything to me. I love it. It's great. You can do jazz in jazz shoes. You can do it barefoot. You can do it in heels, which I do. I do a lot actually. Before the whole pandemic started, I was doing a lot of classes, dancing in heels, doing crazy stuff in heels. But that's just what I love.
Yeah, that's always impressive.
Where do you see dance evolving in the future? Like, where do you see the future of dance in the next couple years?
Man, it's hard to say where I see dance going, because since I started dancing, it has changed drastically. Like when I was little, I was pretty good, you know, but now these kids today that are growing up, they're way better than me right now. And it's just, I don't see it going anywhere but up. People are going to be creating more styles of dance, more innovative choreography. People are just going to be better. That's just the artistry of dance. It's always evolving. It's always going to be better than it was a couple years before.
Yeah, well, I just learned a lot of new stuff today. I'm still trying to perfect the stanky leg. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit behind, but you know, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna definitely get there. So let's dive into the single a little bit. I want to talk about, you know, just kind of break it down and you know, just show some highlights on that single, since we go play it at the end of this episode anyway. So, all right. So y'all got together in the studio. This is like, you know, the first time. The beat was already there. You already picked out the beat, Andre. How did that come out?
So for Trust Your Lies, we actually did that with on the writing. It was myself. I'm sorry. Oh, my kids. Give me okay.
No, you good.
Go back in there. I'll fix it in a second. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me get this.
Family first. Oh
yeah. She's the cutest little girl too. She's so adorable.
Oh, I'm jealous. Everybody, you gotta. Hey, look. Hey.
I know. I saw. I'm like, that's classy.
No, I swear, it's literally lemon water. I'm just being bougie over here.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
All right.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. All right,
yeah.
Andre, you got it.
All right. So with Trust Your Lies, originally that session was just a writing session. It was myself, Dayna, my brother Miracle, and my guy A-Risk. My cousin Revolution Beats, he produced it. He did the beat. And originally, yeah, that was just a writing session, and we were actually going to shop that record to I might as well say it, to Creasha Turner. So, you know, with the pandemic and everything, I don't know what happened to her with her A&R. I don't even know what happened, but we did that record. It came out dope, so we're kind of just sitting on it. Then we got the opportunity to collab with Nip and Dab, who's a big EDM producer DJ, for a record called No Chances. No Chances was the first record, like one of the first records that me and Dayna did, and she and I wrote that.
Okay.
So with No Chances coming out, and with Dayna not having any kind of presence on Spotify, we were like, yo, we gotta put something out. So No Chance. So Trust Your Lies just happened to be, available, and it's a good record. And all the ladies I know that have heard it, they like it. You know, They like what we're talking about. If you really listen to it, like we really talking that shit. So it just made sense. So we dropped that, like I said, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and the feedback has been great. We definitely plan on shooting a visual for it sometime in October, and then we have we got No Chances dropping October 9th.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so back to back with it.
Back to back.
Yep, back to back with it. Yeah.
So
that was a fun session. Like the Trust Your Lies record. That was a fun session. Actually, that was like the last session before like the pandemic, like really like fucking
really hit. Yeah.
That was my last session for real.
Yeah. What who came up with the concept?
Honestly, I want to say we all kind of did.
Kind of collectively. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's so much truth in that. I mean, I've lived in that situation before, where from a male point of like from a male POV, where I'm telling the girl whatever, and she's like, you know what, I just want one thing, so I'll just trust your lies. I'll just trust what you're saying. I don't even want the truth. I'm just gonna trust your lies. And I think for women, from like Dayna's perspective, it's kind of like the perfect balance, because I mean, girls go through that too, where it's like, I know.
What's the word? What is it? Are you like?
Oh, are you just a body to me, or are you somebody to me?
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
there you go.
But everyone can relate to that. You know, we've all been in situationships where we're just like, what is going on here? I like you. I don't want to like you, but this is what it is right now. But while you're here, you're mine. You know, so that's just what it is.
So let me dive into some more technical stuff. Are you guys a write down pen and paper? Are you just turn the mic on and let me just hum some melodies on the mic? Like what how do y'all usually structure y'all session?
We usually just turn the mic on. Like we'll turn the mic on. Everybody, whoever's in the room, like we'll do different melody passes. And then if some cool lyrics come out of the melody pass, cool. Then we'll do like a shared note, you know, with the iPhone. We'll do a shared note, which is a good way to remember who was in the room, because you know how some of these sessions be, you know, big drink, big smoke. Like, but a month later, you're like, damn, I don't know who was.
Yo, that's a major key right there. Yo, that's a major key. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, we do the shared note. But really, you know, we just kind of just go in. I mean, I feel with music, over the past couple of years, I know for me creatively, I don't just want to make songs. I want to make moods. I want to make emotion, because that's what really cuts through to people. So for us, it's really just about going in, feeling the vibe, and just kind of going from there.
How did you get from that point, like kind of just like writing songs, to focusing more on just the emotion aspect and the vibe aspect?
I listen to a lot of interviews, honestly. So I mean, if Hitmaker's doing an interview, I'm listening. If Diddy's doing an interview, I'm listening. And I heard Diddy say that on it. I don't know what interview it was, but I heard Diddy say that, where he was like, we ain't making just songs, like we making feelings. And it stuck with me. And I was like, damn, like that's really what it is. Like you can't write something if you either haven't gone through it, or you don't, you know, like if you haven't experienced it as a writer, you do kind of have to act a little bit. But there is some sense of hold on, baby. There is some sense of attachment to it, like emotionally. So you have to kind of speak from your point of view, and you have to like tap into that emotion with other people. Like, do other people go through this? Okay, they do. All right, cool.
So it's
you can't make it as personal. I try not to make it as personal, because if it's a record, I mean, if it's my record, that's cool. But if it's a record of somebody else, they might not be able to relate. So you want to keep it general but personal.
So it's almost like acting in a way, like you're trying to express the feelings of another story, almost, in a way.
Right, which brings me to the point, like, it brings me back to dance too, because one of the main reasons that I love doing it and still do it to this day, speaking about dance and music, is because you can make someone feel something without speaking to them, without ever saying an actual word to them.
100%.
You know, and I think we've all been through a point in our life where we've seen something emotional, or we've heard a song that just made us really get it and just kind of make us feel better. And that's the beauty of art. Like, you get to act out how you're feeling at that certain point. It makes you feel better. It's a release. So while doing that, writing songs, and it just makes you feel better that you can make someone else feel that too, that someone else relates to you. You're not alone, you know?
So I think relatability is key for just songs in general, especially if you want them to like really have a chance to do some kind of real numbers. You know what I'm saying? You can make a song super duper personal that really you and maybe a couple of your friends really just understand it, and that's cool. But if you like, you know, I know Andre, he's about his business. He's like, yo, like, this subject matter gotta, like, it gotta hit people. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. I like it. It didn't take me long to start feeling the record when we started, you know, working on the mix and stuff like that. Some people's music, I'll spend a few days mixing it and still don't know what the heck they talking about. You know what I'm saying? So like y'all's record, I was like, okay, yeah, this is good right here. I like it. And it makes our job as engineers, it just makes it more fun because you like the record, you like the song. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm saying thank you. Thank you for making my job enjoyable.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Let me ask you this, from our perspective, just in the studio, what can most artists do better when it comes to recording to make the mixing process easier?
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody's ever we had so many people on the show and they never really asked that. Okay. It's a couple of things. One, some people are all over the place in the booth, right? So when they're singing, they acting like they on stage with it, right? They like all over the place, which makes the volumes and stuff very like inconsistent and all over the place. And then it makes our job more tedious, and because we have to level everything out, and sometimes it just doesn't translate as natural as it could. So just really like as much as an artist is feeling it in the booth, just really just trying to stay poised and like center, right? And then two, really just knowing how to record a song as far as like breaking things up. Everyone wants to do a one take. Everyone wants to like, knock it out as quick as possible, which is cool. But, engineer, we're diving into every word and every syllable. And we probably catch some things that a lot of people don't catch when they're in the initial recording process. And, when I'm listening to these vocal stems, I'm hearing everything in the background. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was literally mixing the song not too long ago, and I heard dogs barking and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm like, just this little small details and stuff like that can just really make the engineering process smoother and it makes your songs cleaner at the end of the day. So.
Also, like having enough practice to know that you can hit the notes that you need to hit, because if that's all over the place, it can also make, when we're doing auto tune and stuff, it makes it sound more natural if you can actually hit those notes more spot on.
Right.
Yeah, and that just comes down to, if it takes you 15, 20 times to hit that note, then it's just going to have to take you 15 to 20 times to hit that note. You know what I'm saying? But when they hear But when they hear the song when it's done, they don't know how many times it took you to hit that note. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yep.
Right. So yeah, just little stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, really, just volumes, inconsistency on the volumes is the biggest thing that I hear artists struggle with.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's see. So.
Oh, question before you go there. Auto-tune or Auto-tune or Melodyne?
That's a good question too. So we got one vote for Melodyne and we got another vote for Auto-tune. So I don't know if that helps you. Because I'm Auto-tune 100% Auto-tune.
Right. Is Melodyne harder than Auto-tune as far as like, because I haven't really used Melodyne, but from like people that I've seen use it, it's like Melodyne does give you the option to actually place the notes like correctly.
Yeah, so Melodyne, they have like the piano roll, right? And I hope this doesn't like pull my vote from me, because I actually don't have it either, but I have seen like videos and stuff. But I believe Melodyne has the piano roll on one side, and you can actually see the waveforms and kind of put them to that specific note. That's the extent that I know about it, but I actually I do want to get it soon. It's not a bad buy, I think. It's only what, like $99?
Well,
Melodyne is $99,
right?
I'm not really sure. I can look it up, but I do know one thing. It's kind of more preference on sound. I think those two programs have two different sounds. I think if Auto-tune is, people know the Auto-tune sound. You know what I'm saying?
It's more familiar.
Yeah, I mean, people know the sound of it. Now you can dial it back so that you don't hear it, and it's more natural sounding.
Right.
But Melodyne is more known for like really diving deep in there and really like manipulating the notes and sounds so that it's like as perfect as possible. Like on Dayna's song, I didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you had the notes good enough where, a little here and there, but other than that, I guess that can be another answer to your question. Artists, they need to learn some kind of theory. They need to hear them notes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because some artists, they be not even on the right key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Actually get like a vocal coach or something to learn different techniques that can actually help you hit those notes, like DC said.
And that's definitely something that I was working on too. Because, being pretty new to music, I was like, do I need a vocal coach? Like, I don't know what I'm doing in here.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't. But Andre's been really good about just like practice makes perfect. Like the more you're in the studio, the more you're going to get it. Like, and he just didn't want me to get a vocal coach because he was like, you're going to ruin the natural talent that you already have.
I mean, you kind of did when you went to that camp with OC Hit Factory.
Yeah, that one time. That was cool. It helped a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like me picturing y'all's recording session. I picture Andre in there telling you how to hit the note anyway.
Yeah, Andre's boss. He'll tell me again. He pushes me, so it's cool.
I mean, with Dayna, or really with any singer, because I mean, again, her being in the studio and even her songwriting is like new. But I think what a lot of artists fail to realize what qualifies you as a songwriter. Making melody qualifies you as a songwriter. I can't sing like Dayna, so if I tell her sing, like. It might not sound right, but when she does it, it might sound totally different. And then she's gonna put her own swag on it anyway. So, like in that sense, it's like, okay, you are a songwriter. Because if I put a beat on and you freestyle a crazy melody, that counts as writing.
That does count as writing.
Yeah, you know I mean, melody is the most important part. I have so many songs where I've started just like I've written a whole song that was just pure melody. Then the lyrics come. Because if you don't know a song, especially Black people, what do we do? Hey, girl, what's that song that goes, "That is so that." We sing a melody. So, like, to me, melody is always going to be king, like, period. Melody is always king.
So I actually have a question about melody a little bit and kind of the communication between yourself and an artist as well. If you have a melody in mind that you can't sing, how do you translate that for them to sing that melody?
Sing it. Like, sing it
as the best you can.
That's it.
So
I can sing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't Chris Brown or nothing. I can sing a little bit though. I could do a demo well enough for a singer to get it. So for me, it's just to do it, and then it's up to their artistry to translate it. So even if I do it and it sounds like this, when it translates to you, and you might translate it to this and really make it make sense.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so a couple of fun questions we want to dive in and ask you guys that we like to ask all of our guests to come on the podcast. So we're gonna start with you, Dayna.
Okay.
Give us an E-Mix exclusive of a fun fact. It can be personal or music related, of something that your fans do not know about you.
Fun fact. I still get really nervous in the studio. Like, I always go in there thinking that, like, I can't do this. But probably after maybe a shot or two or whatever I do in the studio, it helps me a little bit. Another fun fact that's not about music, I have super, super small ears. I don't know if you can see that, but they're literally minute. And so I got a big head too. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, they're so tiny. But yeah, I mean, everything else, I hate that.
That's a good one. Yo, we've had some good ones on the show. That is definitely
Look how many they are. Like, they don't make sense. It don't make sense, but it's cool.
I mean, I'd rather that than have them. You know what I'm saying? Them big, huge Dumbo joints.
That again, because listen, I could hear well. I got an ear for music, and so I'm okay.
That's all that matters.
Right.
I see that you have some tattoos as well. How many tattoos do you have?
I just have this one on my arm, this one behind my ear here. It says "Best Friends" in Thai.
Behind the ear ones are cool.
I forget that I have it. Someone's like, "Oh my God, your tattoo!"
Team tats.
I know, tats all around.
We all tatted. You know what I'm saying? We all tatted. Yeah.
DC, we need to get you one, like an E-Mix one on the forehead.
Right on your face. Yeah. Straight up.
I don't have no tats. Not yet. Maybe one day.
We'll get you there.
Yeah. All right, Andre, what you got, bro? Give us the E-Mix exclusive.
Well, I'm a dad, so everybody knows that. I got 4 kids: Ian, Day, Eris, Hawk, and Harlow.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a father first. Another fun fact. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Shouts out to the Noops out
All
here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All
and I'll just say, since Dayna said some a little embarrassing for her ears, I snore. So that's why.
Okay.
So,
all right. There you go.
And it's bad. So, like, once we get on tour, don't trip. I will have my, my little snore machine so nobody hears nothing. Yeah.
You snore like real bad. It's really
Yo,
bad.
let me tell you, it's bad.
So wait,
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Is it pretty rhythmic, or is it like the ones where it's like you don't know what's coming next?
You probably
Man,
snore on beat, honestly.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I didn't almost look. I didn't almost lost relationships because of the snoring. Like, it's bad. But and it's crazy. Like there are some days where like I won't snore. Like if I'm super lit and I go to sleep, I might not snore. But then there's other days where I'm Chainsaw McGraw. I can't help it. You know.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, I'm a work in progress.
That's dope.
It's cool.
That's dope. That's two fun facts that I think is super dope. So appreciate y'all for sharing that. Zach, what else we got, bro?
Let's see.
Who are y'all favorite engineers? That's what I want to know. Who is y'all favorite engineers? Because TZO is one of mine. He makes all Chris records. He's dope. And of course you got Dave Pensado, who's like a legend.
Yeah, shout out to Dave Pensado. I met him this year at NAMM in Anaheim. I met him right before COVID hit. So really cool dude. As of late, really the past year, Jason Joshua, his mixes is crazy. I like his energy. I like his confidence. I like his willingness to just experiment with things and then tell people like, look, this is what it is. So shout out to Jason Joshua. I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos of how he kind of does this 1-2. So yeah.
For me, Illenium, man, he's there's no words. I don't even know how to say why or what, but the fact that he's just been able to create like a whole career for himself in such a short amount of time is extremely impressive. But yeah, sound is super unique. And I guess he's an engineer because like he produces, he writes, he works with vocalists and everything. So he mixes, masters, does it all. So yeah, Illenium for sure.
Yeah, his music is good. That's the EDM world. No, yeah. his stuff is dope. His stuff is dope. Yeah, good questions, Andre. I like those questions. I like the fact that y'all ask us questions because artists come on here and it's all about them, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. It's all good.
Well, I mean, that's just interviewing one-on-one, man. If you go on a job interview, if you don't ask any questions, they're not gonna give you the job.
100%. Yeah,
that's how it works.
So let's talk about creative block a little bit. I know you've kind of just probably with dancing too, there's creative block as well. But what is something that you do to kind of build your inspiration and get over that block?
I would definitely say that taking a break for me is so important because, I'm a procrastinator sometimes. So when I have a project to do or like choreography that I have to do, I will wait till the last minute. But I realize once I start very early, I have time to really process the movement and process, what's going on. Like take a break and go live your life. Life is going to inspire you, whether it's with dance or music, life will already inspire you. So just let life do that. Take a break sometimes. Walk away from it, come back. You'll be inspired by the next time you come back, for sure.
Yep.
Love that. That's great advice.
I agree with that. It's definitely good to step away. You have to step away. And I think if you go into, like, if I go into a session, I'm like, I'm going to write the best song ever. I won't write the best song ever. But if I get in there and I just have fun and, I have it's good to have like a story in mind or have a situation in mind. So I try to like throughout the day, I'll just write different stuff down, on my iPhone and my notes. I'll record different melodies. And then once I get into the studio, I already have some ideas.
Why do you think that is? Like when you go in with an intention to want to like write the best song ever, that it usually doesn't end up that way and you kind of end up in more of a creative block?
I think just that pressure, honestly. I don't think any of the top songwriters, I don't think they go in, I mean, like I said, I watch a lot of interviews. I've never heard one person say they went into the studio and was like, I'm gonna write a hit record. It didn't happen. It just doesn't happen like that. I think hit records and just dope songs happen organically because it's again, it's mood. Like it's as much as it is lyrics or melody, it's all about the mood and the energy of the record. So I think once you can live inside of that, then you'll see your process will start to get a whole lot easier. And then plus, like once you figure out your rhythm, I mean, for me, you know, I do have a home setup, so I get a lot of practice done. And you know, I might start a record, I might write it in 15 minutes, but usually if I'm doing like 2 or 3 records at a time, that first one always is gonna always take me the longest because I gotta get those, you know, I gotta get that juice moving. By the time I get done with that record, the next one, boom, them joints will just start coming. And then, you know, you're writing songs in like 15, 20 minutes.
100%. No, I can't agree more with that, dude, because I remember like I would always get in a rut because I put that pressure on myself. And once I stopped caring about like, how it turned out and just kind of went in with how I felt, it just bam, 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 like juices started flowing.
Yeah. And it's good to co-write. Like for me, I love co-writing. I mean, as much as I can write records by myself, I enjoy co-writing because you get that it's just better to have another mind in there with you. I mean, for me, like it makes it easier. Like I said, I can't sing like Dayna. I can't hit the notes that Dayna can. But I know if I say a dope line, she could translate it into a dope melody and then make it sound how it's supposed to sound.
So you prefer collaborating with people over just working by yourself?
It just depends on the situation. I do like collaborating with people. I am a fan of co-writing, like for sure, 100%. But I mean, it just depends on the situation, honestly. And sometimes I'll write a record and then I'll send it out to other writers I work with, and then they'll put their golden touch on it, and then boom, we got a record.
And that's facts, because if you look on Wikipedia and you look at these songs, that writer list be long. It'd be a lot of people. And I think a lot of artists is coming up that's new. I don't think they realize that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not good all the time either, because then when it comes time for you to try to do a pub deal or something, you're stuck with such a low percentage that, you know, it might not. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to discourage anybody. At the end of the day, a placement is a placement. If it's you and it's 6 other people, but it's on Chris Brown's album, well, guess what? Your phone is going to start ringing off the hook now just because your name is on that list. So, I mean, really, a lot of times that's like your only way into a room is co-writing, because you got invited by another dope writer who vouched for you. Boom, now you're in the room. So, you know, I'm never opposed to I'm never opposed to co-writes. And I don't think any new writers, if there's new writers out there listening, don't be afraid to co-write with people. And really, you should be co-writing with writers who are better than you.
Yeah. No, I think that's just like a great marketing strategy in general, whether it's music or not, like just interacting with people, like you said, someone who is above you, and that kind of just brings you up to the next tier. Just keep going and growing your network that way. So Dayna, have you worked with anyone else besides Andre?
Yeah, I have worked with other people actually. Most of the time I'm with Andre because, you know, I trust him. He was the first person that, you know, saw anything in me. So we have like a pretty tight bond, you know.
Yeah.
But because of Andre, I've definitely got to meet a lot of other writers and artists and be in the room with them. Like last week, I just was in the studio with one of my friends, CJ, who is an amazing rapper and writer. And I got to be on his track. And it's just like, if I didn't have the confidence from Andre, I definitely would not have been able to go without him, you know? But yeah. I feel like when I venture out a little bit, it just makes, you know, when we co-write together, just that much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. It's that magic energy that you get with the confidence and with just the energy from just other dope writers that you're in the studio with. And that leads me to one like kind of business question. And maybe Andre has maybe experienced it or maybe not, but like, have you ever had any issues where people are saying, "Oh, my split should be this" or "My split should be that"?
Well, for me,
I have.
definitely not, because like I said, I work with Andre, and he's probably one of the most, like, he has so much integrity. He's just such a good person that we've never had to deal with that. But I know that he definitely has.
Right.
Yeah, like I've lost out on a couple placements because like the producers were trying to be extra greedy with the upfront fee, and I just learned like it's just not good to deal with people like that, because it's like you're gonna end up you're gonna mess this opportunity up for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
so we try to be fair. Like if it's 5 of us working on a record, we'll just split everything. Even with the producer. Like I know there are situations where the producers are supposed to get half, but it really depends on to me it depends what everybody's involvement is. Like if they're just if we I'm sorry, guys, go in the room. If we're doing a record and you know what I'm saying, like if we're doing a record and I'm sorry, what's wrong, baby?
No, but what Andre is trying to say is what they do heavily, and like that's actually the only way they do it in Nashville. So like when it comes to like country music, like the way that they structure it, if you're in the room, even if you just wrote one line, if you're in that room, everything gets split like evenly within with everybody. I'm not saying that's the most I'm not saying that's the most fair thing, but like that's how they do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, maybe other genres would adapt it at some point, but I just
You're
know
from Nashville?
Huh? No, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but it was a lot of artists that I've worked with that they're from Nashville. Yeah, and they were telling me that's how they do their splits over there.
It's probably not always fair, but like, if one of us eats, we all eat, and that's just like, it's nice to have that sense of teamwork in the room, especially when you're collaborating on something. So.
Yep. And if it's your first time, and like if it's your first time in the room, and there's bigger writers, and y'all that record places, but something is better than nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
I think as long as you can retain at least 15% on a record, 10 to 15%, really 15%, then it's a good conversation between you. If you are trying to get a publishing deal, publishers will listen to you, especially if it's a big enough record. Because like again, something is better than nothing.
So who, like, do we have any like fans of any like new? I mean, obviously we got Dayna here, which I'm a fan of just by mixing in one record. But like, anybody that you see helping shape or mold the next wave of music that's out right now?
Yeah, I mean, again, you got Hitmaker, who is controlling the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like,
basically, he's killing it.
Yeah.
Right
So
now.
for me, I try
is that someone that you kind of like look up to as like 100%, a writer?
Yeah, as a writer, as a producer, as an exec, as an A&R, absolutely. He's definitely somebody that I want to model my career after. Guys like him, Diddy, really him, just because he's younger. You know what I'm saying? And for me, he really took shit and built an empire. Like people wrote Hitmaker off. Like when he was Young Bird, like people wrote him off. When he get his chain snatched and this, down, the third. But it's like, I think as soon as he started to rebrand himself, and he's always been producing. Like people don't realize that. Like, he's always been producing. But once he really took a step back and just refocused his energy on writing and producing, I want to say after that Diddy album, Last Train to Paris, that's really when he really took off. You know what I'm saying? But even with like Sexy Can I, that record, that was his biggest record. And I want to say, I think he co-produced it. I know he co-wrote it, but I think he co-produced that as well. So, sometimes you just kind of have to change your path a little bit to get to where you want to go. But he's definitely somebody that I listen to. He's definitely somebody I look up to.
Yeah, his credits right now, you don't have no choice. You're gonna hear something that he's done.
You are.
He's like literally everywhere right now.
Yeah, that's real.
Literally everywhere.
Yep, but like him, you know, Lil Baby. I think Lil Baby's gonna be here for a little while. As far, you know, I think on the West Coast, you got Tyga. Tyga ain't going nowhere. Tyga knows how to put out a hit record. He knows how to put out a hit record. Then you got a lot of these new guys, like you got the AZ Chikes, you got Compton AV, you got Compton STG, you got Almighty Suspect, and a lot of these guys, like, they just know how to tap into. They know how to tap into their fans. ING Rucci. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people who are not necessarily chasing a wave, but they're making their own wave. And people could say what they want about Blueface, but at the end of the day, he knows how to make his fans happy. He knows how to tap into that. I mean, that he took that rapping off beat and made it a whole. I mean, between him and Almighty Suspect, like, they really took that kind of rapping off beat and they make it work. Not everybody could do that. Some people could rap off beat and they're just off. I hear a lot of records from people coming from like Chicago, like a lot of these Chicago rappers. I'm like, can y'all find a beat? like what?
Did someone switch the beat on you?
Yeah. You know. So, but I mean, even for them, like that's part of that Midwest sound. You got guys like TJ6 who rap off beat, but they make it work. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, like, being a writer, taking some of those principles and moving it to like a different genre, like moving it to R&B, the records can come out really dope that way. So, you know, you really can't discount anybody's method or kind of like what they're doing. Like, you got to respect it. Like, if you're making money doing the music you're doing, I'm gonna respect it because something's working.
Yeah.
Right. They doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't hear that last part, but no, I agree with you 100%. Being able to tap in with your audience and know who your audience is first and foremost. A lot of artists don't even know who their audience is or who they need to cater to, who to market to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I think that can like really hurt the brand when you're trying to get out there. So, yeah, for sure. We got like a couple more questions and we're gonna get out of here. But what else you guys at?
All right, just fun one. You kind of said it earlier, but if there's one artist that you could work with, who would it be and why?
Whew, that's a really tough question, honestly, because I like so many different genres of music and so many different kind of artists. Like, of course, my dream was to dance for Beyonce, but like now I'm like, hey, let me hop on a record with Beyonce.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if you're familiar with Masego. I love Masego. He is, I love like jazz, soul, neo soul type of music, and he is just the epitome of that for me, anyway. I love Giveon, amazing. Like, I have so many inspirations. It's hard to just narrow down a few, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would love to work with some rappers, like some female rappers as well, because, you know, girl power is all I'm about. I love that. It speaks volumes to me. So yeah, I'm always down to collaborate with most people, especially if I just think that they're dope and I respect their craft. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, for me,
and then
Hitmaker for sure. Timbaland and Missy. If I could work with Timbaland, Missy, and Hitmaker, then I'm good. I'm like I will feel like my life is like fulfilled, like for real.
That's dope. Yeah, all three of those names on both of y'all sides.
Yeah.
For one is very diverse in their styles. You know what I'm saying? So that's and different eras too, really. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. Giveon, his vocals is crazy, very different, very unique. Missy, I don't think she's ever missed a beat at all, and you know what I'm saying. So, and Hitmaker he's just killing it. It's his time right now. So, yeah, man, y'all have been like super guests on here. Thank you. We got. I want to end it. I really don't even want to end it. I just don't want to take up too much of y'all time.
Right.
But I'm not tripping, but if we keep going, my kids are definitely going to be on this
bouncing off the walls.
No, but let's end it with some motivation. Like, we want to use this podcast for people who are just getting in the industry or in the industry for a while and just want to learn a little bit more. We just want to lead in with some inspiration and just, some words of wisdom. So if you guys can give what you've already done, but any final word of advice for writers, well, Andre for writers and producers, and for Dayna for artists that are getting in the game.
For writers and producers, learn about publishing. Make sure before you step to anybody that you're registered with a PRO, whether it's ASCAP, CSAC, or BMI. Make sure that you register your songs with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. Also, the Harry Fox agency. There's an online publishing company called Song Trust. Make sure you register with Song Trust. You just have to make sure that you are able to get your money. Make sure you're able to get your money back. Now, sometimes the PROs, they miss stuff. So I think it's good that these other organizations are here. They're here to help. A friend of mine named Dave Bogan, he is the CEO of I think it's called Tune Registry. But he wrote an ebook. I'll make sure I send you guys the link so y'all could put it in the video.
Shout out to Dave Bogan. Shout out to him. That's the homie. That's
okay.
Yeah. We went to high school together.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You're from Cleveland. That's why.
Yeah. Right? We went to high school together. Yeah. That's my homie. I mean, I'm linking up with him soon. He lives in WeHo. That's the homie. Yeah.
So he wrote an ebook called the DIY Guide for Musicians. And it really just teaches you a lot of the basic stuff. But you just want to make sure that you educate yourself before you get into this business, because the more talented you are, people, if you're not protected or you don't know about the business, people will take advantage of you. And that's why you see a lot of these songwriters. We see it with Kanye West, where Kanye's talking about how bad his publishing deal was, and this, that, and the third. So you just have to make sure that you educate yourself. I don't want to stain the industry, because everybody's situation is different. But I mean, if you don't read your contract, that's kind of bad. So you got to make sure you have an attorney. Don't get an attorney that the label gives you, because how can you advise me if you're working for them? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So
right.
make sure that you have just the right people in your corner, and make sure you're educated enough to just have discernment about those people.
Love it, man.
100. I like
That's
that.
great. How about you, Dayna?
As someone new to this whole game, I would definitely say just to keep going and not give up. Like I was saying before, I've been through so many no's, way more no's than yeses, but timing is everything. And if you keep going hard at what you love to do and what you're good at and what is for you, your time will come. God makes no mistakes in timing, and your path, there's no mistakes. So if you just keep on doing that and do it hard with intention, with passion, you won't lose. So that's,
Awesome. Yeah. Definitely love that.
Yeah. Keep on going.
And DC, before you do the outro, I just want to ask you both if you can drop us your IG or just your social handles in general, so anyone listening to this podcast can give you a follow.
Yes. You can find me at _DayMadison. That's _ Madison. So just like Dayna, but without the no.
Awesome. And then how about you, Andre?
You can find me at I'm Andre Writer. That's IM ANDREWRITER. I'm Andre Writer. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
all right, well, we about to get out of here. We about to do a little world premiere one time real quick. You know what I'm talking about? We got the new single, Trust Your Lie. What was that?
What? No, I was just saying one time. Because I said one time, so I was like,
hold on.
Nah.
Okay.
You're good.
We got Trust Your Lies. We about to hit the airways with it, you know what I'm saying? With Dayna Madison in the building with her new single, you know what I'm saying? We gonna turn up. Let's go. Trust Your Lies.
Woo, yes.
Boom.
Hey.
I don't wanna separate from your skin. Love is just a game we play. When will I win? Ain't worried about your time, 'cause while you're here, you're mine. Ain't worried about the truth, I'll trust your lies. Calls at 2 a.m. you outside. Once I let you in, it's no side. No forgiving, we both sin and it feels wrong, but it feels right. I'ma give it all and you won't say no. Let you take charge, but I'm in control. If my feelings get involved, boy, it's just too much. So you gotta leave when the sun comes up. What am I doing here? Why did I let you in here? Are you just a body to me, or are you somebody to me? What am I doing here? Why did I let you in here? Are you just a body to me, or are you somebody to me? Separate your skin. Love is just a game we play. When will I win? Ain't worried about your time, 'cause while you're here, you're mine. Ain't worried about the truth, I'll trust your lies. Asking myself all these questions. Who's he calling? Who's he texting? When he's not with me, who's calling him, baby? I don't even know why I'm tripping. He don't even care who I'm missing. Do I stick to the code? Let it be, let it go. What am I doing here? Why did I let you in here? Are you just a body to me, or are you somebody to me? What am I doing here? Why did I let you in here? Are you just a body to me, or are you somebody to me? Separate your skin. Love is just a game we play. When will I win? Ain't worried about your time, 'cause while you're here, you're mine. Ain't worried about the truth, I'll trust your lies. I don't wanna separate from your skin. Love is just a game we play. When will I win? Ain't worried about your time,